So for this video, we are going to do, yet again, quick and dirty deck spotlight so that I can showcase some of the decks I've been playing since the balance patch. We're doing the quick and dirty one instead of the high production ones because I'm traveling for QuakeCon and casting the Master Series Finals, so rather than doing all the big editing stuff I normally do, we're just doing it here in the deck editor. So this is an aggressive Battlemage list. I like to call this a Dust Battlemage. It's very similar to one of the lists he piloted in the Masters series. As you can see, we have Plunder. I gotta be honest, I used to make fun of Dust for running Plunder. The more I play with the card, the more I think he just might be right. It's generating me a lot of value and just extra resources at the time that I would need it. At the time I might be running out of steam as an aggressive deck. Getting two cards that potentially help you out is a big deal. So obviously we include Plunder in tribute to Dust. And yeah, the rest is pretty similar to Time to Fight, if you're familiar with those decks from me, right? A lot of reach. We got Nord Firebrands, Relentless Raider, Steel Scimitar, a Lit, Circle Initiate because Prophecy, and honestly, in this deck, it's basically a 4-3 for 2. Orc Clan Captain, Vanguard because of Charge. Eldora is a house in this list. We have a lot of ways to trigger her. We are running Northwind Outposts. We have supports. We're running actions in Plunder and Lightning Bolt, so you've got those. Obviously, the deck runs creatures. Obviously, it runs items with Steel Scimitar, but a lot of times you can get like extra value, right? Like if you play Eldora and the next turn you draw a Plunder and then you play a Plunder, then Skywag is going to get credit for an action, and then when you play Plunder, you're going to draw an item. When it says put 2 random items in your hand, that counts as a draw, and it's on your turn. So that also triggers Eldora. So there are some ways that you can get multiple triggers for certain cards. Same thing with Raiding Party. Raiding Party is an action, and then you draw a creature, so you can get some immediate value, but she's just a house in this. She's kind of a must-answer card, does a lot of work for me. Battle Rage Orc, again, Charge. A lot of these are either creatures with Charge or just massive amounts of stats. Sharpshooter's here just for the utility. There's a lot of cheap cards. Triggering it is typically not a problem. Mighty Ally, just a lot of stats. 6-3 with Breakthrough. The only card that breaks it right now is Lightning Bolt, so you're almost always triggering it. Outpost because all of your creatures are red, and it's great with Raiding Party, and we do run Raiding Party. Outpost is also, when that's on the board, going to mean your Ash Berserker will always draw you cards because it'll trigger itself. We run Ash Berserker because it's one of the best draw engines in the game right now. Brawler because it charges, it has guard. A lot of times you start with these like weenie creatures, and then if you use this you can protect them, so that's great. Lightning Bolt because Lightning Bolt, and Battle Mace because of the reach. The ward is resilient. It's still a red card, so it counts. And yeah, that's it. There's not a lot to it. Curve tops out at 4. This is very much an aggressive deck. This is a go face deck. That being said, you have to pay attention. Aggro is not mindless. There are times when you need to trade. You got to kind of keep in mind the math of if your opponent is also racing you, or if I'm trying to take actions to set up a lethal for the following turn. Sometimes it's better to do things that might not be an optimal play. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't just fall into the like play something, go face, play something, go face routine. There is a little bit of thought that goes into piloting this correctly, but it is got one goal in mind, and that's to get your opponent's HP to 0 as fast as possible. So yeah, this is a Dust Time to Fight hybrid, right? It's Time to Fight with Plunder in it. Let's dive into some games and see how it does. All right. This should be fun. And by fun, I mean incredibly painful. It's going to be an aggressive mirror, in all likelihood. We are playing against Crusader. So I know that goes back. The only reason I'm questioning keeping Raiding Party is because if we get an outpost, if we get a clan captain, it could very well help us pull ahead. But without the ring, I really feel like we need to find other answers. So we're going to throw them all back. If we had the ring, I might have kept raiding party. Alright, didn't get a whole lot better. Part of me wants to save this to pair with the sharpshooter. So I think I'm going to, because again, even though we're playing an aggressive deck, we don't really have an aggressive hand.
Did you hear that?
Alright. Oh, okay. I was about to get very scared because it felt like we were going to see...
I am ready to join
a pit lion in the near future for us. Typically, when they have the ring and they start with marked man, you save the defenses, you drop it on this side.
I'll take them with me.
They are looking to just race.
Protect the Harbinger.
Time to fight.
Got a couple of plunders here, but
I only need one.
doing that pulls a fair amount of damage off the board. Kind of wish we had something that buffed our berserker. Oh, that's
Hold your positions.
that's a big that's a big win for us that they whiffed there.
Come at me.
That's a big win for us. Alright, we actually might not be playing this now. The Relentless Raider and the Circle Initiate have just got to come down.
Attack!
I have no fear of the cowardly schemers. They missed their shot.
Alright. That was a really big swing for us. The fact that they whiffed and then we got to transform 2 werewolves, get a couple of triggers on our Relentless Raider here. This Berserker might never get played. We're likely not going to need card draw. He's going to keep hitting us anyway. The Plunders, if we don't draw something spicy to play, are just better. They represent reach, right? If we draw an item that we can slap on something, it's just all around better. You know, we could find something like Shield Breaker or Bone Bow and even negate that there.
Did you hear that?
Start swinging. Or, in this case, negate a Rift Thane, potentially.
You can't defeat us. Come at me.
Alright.
I'll take them with me.
They just really want us to play Plunder this game, huh? Alright. Let's go ahead and see what this gets us. Basically nothing useful.
Trolls take you. They missed their shot.
Because we want to protect the 4-1, we're actually going to make this trade. And then, unless they run Vigilante, playing this over here might make sense, but... if they run Vigilante, they can hit it in either lane anyway. So let's go ahead and do that.
Thank you. Chimera, guide us.
Alright, so they play a Fervor. Kind of hoping they were going to play a cheap guard so that I could Stendarr's Hammer and really run them over there. That's a really great pickup for us.
We stand united.
Not quite enough for lethal, however. Unless we hit no prophecies. So, Brawler killing a creature over here
The silent guard with you.
represents lethal, so cross your fingers.
They missed
No
their
prophecy. Alright. There we have it. Great game. Great game. That was a really big turn when this ally whiffed, and then we got to transform 2 werewolves. Basically, that was the turning point. So let's jump into a game and see what else we can plunder. Alright, we are going first against a warrior. And paired up pretty significantly here, actually. You can't see it because my picture's covering it, so I'll mouse over. We are rank 4.
I have no fear of
We are
the
not rank 4 legend, mind you. We are in rank 4, playing against number 6 legend. So this guy's not going to be happy if we end up winning this, to say the least.
I am ready to join the circle.
All right. Haunting Spirit. So it does look like they're on some sort of mid-range, maybe mid-grow warrior. Sadly, we have no scimitar to transform that.
Trolls take you. Protect the harbinger. My destiny is for
So we kind of just go that route. Eldora is tempting, but I feel like Mighty Ally ends up being the correct play. Largely because then Ash Berserker might draw us a card next turn. Eldora is just one of those cards that has the potential to high roll pretty hard. Alright, so that is a pretty big Bleak Coast.
trolls take you.
The Silent Guard with you.
Alright, prophecies are also not going to help us out.
Close ranks, let nothing through.
Not even a little bit. How do we want to do this? I mean, Berserker draws us a card, so that feels like it's the way you want to go. Raiding Party's not half bad. Got him playing defensively, which works out a little bit in our favor. If we get like an Orc Clan Captain, we can clean up the troll here. That would go a long way. That's a really big prophecy for us.
Close ranks, let nothing through.
That is sadly not an Orc Clan Captain. Raiding Party, I think, still ends up being correct because we can pair it with the Raider. So we can do that.
Protect the harbinger.
Trade in there. This gets another trigger here. No reason to save it because at this point we are very clearly just trying to win this race. Actually, I take that back. There might have been a reason to save it. If our opponent plays something that ends up eating our board, having something with charge and potentially plunder could have been a big deal.
You should.
Alright, so the lightning bolt is nice, but not enough. It is enough for lethal, actually. Alright, fair enough. We're gonna go ahead and come in like this, come in like this. Because this swings for 2, but barring a prophecy, and this deck shouldn't run any that kills that. That should trigger, and then we have the lightning bolt. So, there you have it. We beat number 6 overall legend pretty impressively, and we did it without the Ring of Magicka in an aggressive mirror type match. I think that speaks to the power level of this deck.